Well, you being crew, it's your boy Savon Thomas, back with another episode of Coffee and Comments. Today we're going to review the movie BlacKkKlansman. Was it good? Was it bad? Let's talk about it, but first, let's take a sip. Welcome back, Bean Crew. Again, this is a review of the movie BlacKkKlansman starring John David Washington and Adam Driver. Came out in 2018, and I remember seeing it, but I never gave it a watch in theaters. So when I saw it on Netflix, I was like, you know what? It says crime, it says comedy. Let me see what this is about. And I didn't know the true story that it was until I looked it up after the movie. But overall, this is a very enjoyable movie. I thought just the way they portrayed everything was phenomenal. So for those who don't know, this is a Spike Lee joint, so a Spike Lee movie, one of my favorite directors, and it talks about this Colorado Springs police officer who was the first black police officer in Colorado Springs, and he infiltrates the local chapter of the KKK. And the way he goes about it is pretty funny because he puts a fake address and he puts a fake information in there, but he puts his real name on accident. And so they call him and they ask him to meet up with them. And so that's played by John David Washington, is Ron Stallworth. And then Adam Driver's character has to be Ron Stallworth, the white person. And so the way the movie depicts is Ron Stallworth, is trying to infiltrate the KKK. Adam Driver's character is a Jew. In real life, that person that played the real life Ron Stallworth to the KKK he wasn't a Jew. And they honestly said, in the movie, the KKK is portrayed as kind of smart. They think through things. But in the interview with the real Ron Stallworth, he was like, no, they're dumbasses. They don't know what's going on. They weren't that smart, right? So it was pretty cool. Like I said, I thoroughly enjoyed this movie. I thought the plot was well done. I thought the comedic moments and the timing was well done. It was cool to see the elements that this movie portrayed and how touchy subject, right? So for some people, the thought of racism and the Jim Crow South and things are going on is so far away, but literally this movie is depicted in the 70s, which is not that long ago. This is 1972. My mom was born in 72, so this is not long ago where stuff like this is still going on, and you can tell that racism is still alive. That's one of the things that this movie touches on at the end of the movie was kind of some depictions of the KKK and obviously this movie talks about David Duke and the KKK back in the 70s and how they have delineated a little bit, but there's still people out there to think that there's nobody out there that has hatred in their heart for a particular race or type of people, or think that because they're this race they're better than people. You're crazy, right? People were marching in 2018. I'm sure that there's people nowadays that still have certain feelings. Those underlying feelings are still prevalent in the United States. I'm not saying every single white person out there is racist, but I'm not an idiot to think that there's people that don't like me because of my skin color or feel threatened by me because of my skin color as well. And so I love the way that Spike Lee touched on what is for some people an uncomfortable truth of what used to happen back in the day. Because I feel like a lot of people today's society, we want to just dispel anything that happened in the past. Oh, that was just back in the day, right? Slavery times, that was so long ago, right? Oh, Jim Crow, that was so long ago. Those things don't exist anymore. That's cool, but you act like that wasn't that long ago. Majority of the time, most people's grandparents lived in a time where it was okay to be outright racist and say things to people and just speak about people in a way that was inhumane. But overall, again, I'm done talking about that. I could talk about that for a while. But overall, this movie is good, and it talks about some uncomfortable truths, and it's fun as well. It's a fun comedy movie about a black guy that infiltrates the KKK and really, really saves the world. And you see different things play out. They kind of annoy you as a black person. The use of the N-word is a lot. You see the way the black people were treated back in the day, even though they're upstanding citizens. There's a point where Ron Stallworth is trying to arrest this person. And these two white cops don't know he's undercover, and they start beating him up. Annoying, right? But overall, good movie. If you're a person that's watched this far and you're man, this movie sounds like it's just uncomfortable, and it's not. It's a good movie, good message. BlacKkKlansman. Overall, I gave this movie 8.1 out of 10. I put this on a medium dark roast list. Check it out. I think you're going to like it. I think you're going to enjoy it. I think you'll laugh too. Towards the end, you might get more of a serious message, but overall, good movie. Let me know in the comments what your thoughts are. If you agree with what I said about the political commentary, if you disagree, I'm always open to comments. I'm always open to dialogue. But let me know what you thought about the movie as well. Appreciate you guys. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Coffee and Comments.